Oh, motherfucker, you can't have my cornbread. That's for damn sure. Because if you try to take my cornbread, part 2 of my killing spree gonna begin up in here on your ass right now. If you think about my cornbread, get the taste out your mouth. That's for damn sure. Now, fuck him. Fuck that. Because I'm from New York City, goddammit. Nobody take no cornbread from me. That goes for you and any other you motherfucking farmers wanna try some shit. You fuck around with me, it's gonna be consequences and repercussions.
Haters gonna hate, and ain'ters gonna ain't.
That is not an actual thing people say.
What's happening? What's happening? Maestro Styles, Trey Frazier. Welcome to another episode of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. We want to thank everybody for joining in for another episode. Shout out to all the first-time listeners and all the A1 Day ones. Real quick, make sure you follow us on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. You can follow myself at Maestro Styles. You can follow Trey at Trey Frazier on Twitter. You can follow me at Maestro Styles. You can follow Trey at Barbershop SPOR2. Make sure you like the Facebook page and subscribe to YouTube. And once again, Breonna Taylor's killers are still out here in these streets. Trey, what's good?
Yes, sir. Thank you for continuing to get that message out there, brother. Her killers are definitely in them streets, and they need to be caught, arrested, arraigned, put to trial, put in jail, under the cement, whatever they got to do, man. They got to get that done, man. But, man, my week's been good, man. We talking basketball, and we'll get to all that stuff, but really excited about this show, man. What about you, man? How's your week been?
Can't complain, man. Been really productive in the past week.
Yes, sir.
A little bit, couple of deadlines. I got some. I got some music that I'm about to finish up. A couple artists finishing some music up. So we got some. I got some stuff brewing.
Got some heat.
I got some stuff brewing. That's for sure. Excited about what we got going on in the upcoming months, and
all right, got some Dylan, some hot fire coming.
A little bit of something for a little bit of everybody, man. So we working.
All right, no doubt, man. Hey, man, if nothing else, man, let's get into this, man.
Yeah, we can go straight to it.
You want to get into just like the some of the small side stuff before we get to the NBA playoffs and all that? Or
I don't know if this is small. I don't know if this is small stuff, bro. This is big time shit right here. And how ironic that it's the Washington football team who gets to make this history. But let's be clear, the Washington football team that gets to make this history. But the Washington
not the Redskins anymore?
No, not the Redskins. They are officially the Washington football team. I'm going to acknowledge that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm going to acknowledge that. The Washington football team has officially made history and appointed their first black president in Jason Wright, who was brought to the fold, I want to say, over the weekend. And he is their new president, man. Congratulations to Jason Wright, former NFL player. Didn't have a extensive career. He was a running back for the Falcons and a couple other teams I couldn't remember. Man, look, I tell you what, nothing has changed about my stance on Dan Snyder and him needing to sell the team. But whoever was in charge of this move, this is definitely the right time. I'm happy for this cat. I don't know much about him, I know he's only 38 years old, which I thought was interesting. But shouts out to him, man. Congratulations for sure.
Yeah, shout out to Jason Wright on being the first black president of an NFL franchise. That's history being made, number one. Number two, I agree with you, Maestro. I still stand on the side of Dan Snyder need to get the hell up out of D.C. It needs to sell the team to a black entrepreneur with some bread, or if it's a, investment group of black individuals that's willing to front some money up for this team. So I'm still with you there. Number three, so just to kind of describe what he'll be doing with the organization. So he'll be leading the business division, including operations, finance, sales, and marketing, and all that stuff. And so I'm real happy that he has the opportunity, he has the seat to prove what he can do. And I don't know Jason Wright, except the fact that he was a running back previously. Mm-hmm. I don't know his business acumen. I don't know much about him.
Well, I do know that he went and got his a business degree of some sorts after his career.
Okay.
He did go back and get the necessary. I don't know if it was necessary or not. Okay. I would assume it's necessary.
So he's got some education on business. So that's great.
Yes. He went back and got it.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. That's dope. That's dope. So him taking this position with the Washington football team, I believe it had to happen, whether it was him or another black individual. But I think it clearly shows that this franchise is trying to move in a different direction, trying to change a culture. And again, I echo what you say. Dan Snyder, as long as that guy's still in the building, I can't say I'm 100% confident that the culture 100% is going to be flipped upside down. You know what I mean? Because it starts and ends with him, regardless of who is the coach, who's the quarterback, who's the GM, regardless of who, the play-by-play announcer, regardless of who comes in and out of that franchise, the one constant has been Dan Snyder. Mm-hmm. And, if these are stepping stones, you hired a female to run the content operations. That's great. Yeah. Now you got this African-American dude, as president of the team. That's awesome. Those are good stepping blocks to try to turn this thing around. But at the end of the day, if Snyder can't show that he's willing to change how he operates himself, then it's just going to be the same old thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, look, and just to kind of put some information on the story, after his NFL career, he went and got his MBA from University of Chicago, and then spent the last 7 years at the consulting firm of McKinsey and Company. I'm sure I'm not familiar with that company, but
don't know what it is.
Yeah, but I just wanted to speak to his business acumen. Dan Snyder put out a quote saying, that basically that he was hired for his business acumen, even though he has experience in the league. That it was about his business acumen and not so much, they're basically saying that this wasn't like a, let's hire him because he black. Let's hire him because we need to get some points after all of the drama that's been going on in Washington over the past couple of months. This isn't about that. Of course, he's going to be there to help clean some of the stuff up, but it's more so about, we thought this guy was the best choice behind Bruce Allen, who had the job before.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I got really nothing much else on this except, congratulations to
and get your
Jason Wright,
black man.
Yeah, and I pray that the football team gives him time to, work everything out. I mean, I don't know what his contract situation is or anything like that as far as years go, but I hope he gets the opportunity to fulfill his contract, however long that is.
That's a fact.
So
that's a fact. Because
hey,
we know they're not letting black people finish the job around here.
Yeah, for certain. They're definitely not doing that, man. Whether it's GMs, coaches, quarterbacks, they're not letting black people finish a job, bro. Yeah. I could segue to a couple of stories after just kind of talking about that, but I'll just stick with the NFL and talking about ownership. So we kind of discussed this maybe a week or two ago with Woody Johnson, who's partial owner of the Jets. I think his brother kind of foresees the team right now because he's someplace overseas as like a Britain ambassador of some kind. Well, this New York Times article came out this week, right, Maestro? So I'm just going to read a couple of things here for you. So Robert Wood Johnson IV urged the State Department investigators against publicly reporting allegations that he made sexually or racially inappropriate comments to embassy staff. And this was according to a report that was released back on Wednesday.
Okay.
So this is sort of the follow-up to what was rumored to have been him spewing racial slurs toward his staff the week before. Mm-hmm. So now that this is coming out and this dude is trying to block this and trying to keep this from being a story, which has sort of been working.
Yeah, about to say it's been
NFL.
working.
Yeah, NFL. Get Woody Johnson's ass up out of here right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Right. Yeah, I'm 100% with you, Trey. They tripping. They tripping. Look, and it's funny because we spoke about it. Like, why is this not a story? Like, why has this Woody Johnson thing not been a big story? And look, that's probably why. It's probably because he went and put, used some resources and was like, hey, leave this alone. I don't want this in the public, and like I said, for all intents and purposes, or like you said, for all intents and purposes, it has not been out here. We have not talked about it. It's not been a hot topic like it should be. If Dan Snyder has been a hotter topic, I don't even think that's been a hot enough topic. I was
gonna say, because that's kind of died down because of the hires that he made.
Well, I read an article as late as last Friday that was basically saying that minority owners are still calling for him to sell the team. And then the next thing I saw was the Jason Wright hire. So it's still right. It's still in small circles of news, but like I said, not to the extent, and I don't know why the NFL is dragging their feet, or it's never a good sign when a story loses steam and nothing has happened yet. That's normally an indication that nothing's going to happen. But I'm still keeping my fingers crossed. Dan Snyder, you got to go. Woody Johnson, you got to go.
Yeah, and just a side piece to the story about the minority owners for the Redskins, or the Washington football team for that matter. So they're trying to sell their portion of the franchise. And I think a couple of problems they're running into, I think one of them you just said, is that, Dan Snyder's not giving the team up. I think number two also is that nobody who's looking to invest in a franchise wants to deal with a potential Dan Snyder ownership, especially if he's showing that he's not going to give the team up. So I think those minority business owners right now, they're just in some kind of a double-edged sword here. Like they don't know what direction to go, because if they try to sell, nobody's biting, and if they're holding out hope that new ownership comes in, Dan Snyder ain't biting.
Yeah. Tough situation to be in for, I guess if the Redskins started winning, fans wouldn't care much, but, tough situation for them to be in.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, for
no
sure.
Question.
Can we get to some ignorance in the NFL?
Yes, we can do that.
Okay, so really quick, I don't think this is going to require, a whole bunch of conversation. Seahawks cut rookie Kemar Silverand after he was caught on video trying to sneak a woman into the team hotel. The woman was wearing Seahawks gear to disguise herself as a player. Your reaction?
It's a bad move, man. I hate to see guys get cut for situations like this, but cats just got to understand that, this is a different time we're in right now.
Yeah.
2020, COVID-19, these two things don't care what you got planned. They're going to be the ending deciding factor here. The fact that he dressed her up to make her look like she was some part of the team, a player. Yeah, I thought that was a bit funny. I thought homie was trying to pull it off.
Yeah, like that. Like, so you thought that people was going to think that she looked like an NFL player because she wore like what? Yeah, I don't get that.
That was pretty hilarious.
I don't get that at all. That's ignorance 101. But I lied. Let me ask you this question. This might not be a short subject, but it might be. I don't know. Let's go. So do you think? See, my problem with this is that, bruh, you a rookie. You just got on the team. You have yet to make a dime, and you would risk your your money for some quick ass. And did you see the white girl?
I did not see the white girl, and I didn't know that she was white.
She was a white girl. She was a regular old Becky. Like, there was nothing.
Snow bunny. He's trying to sneak a snow bunny up in that joint.
But what bothers me is that if you gonna go hard and risk your livelihood for this,
right.
She got to be a bad joint. Like, this joint was not bad at all. Like,
wow.
I'm
like
sorry.
not even white girl bad.
Yeah, just bland potato salad, bro. She was not bad at all, and I was just really disturbed.
No seasoning.
Raisins in it and everything, bro. This was not the move. But it did get me to thinking. Do you think that this is a rookie thing? Meaning, do you think he was cut because he was a rookie trying to sneak girls in, or do you think it was just flat out a COVID-19 thing? And do you think that veterans? Do you think people look the other way when veterans sneak women in, or do you even believe they sneak women in at all?
Yeah, I figured this was a question you'd ask. I think if it was somebody like what's the cat name, Bobby Wagner. Like, if Bobby Wagner snuck his wife into the training facility, I think they might slap him on the wrist. I think they might suspend him a couple of days from camp, right. But they're not cutting Bobby Wagner.
Right. I mean, let's be clear. This guy's a rookie. I don't know. I didn't hear his name in the draft, so I'm sure he's not a high draft pick. So this guy was just a guy that they could live without, because he hasn't proven nothing on the field. And I feel like, this is just Maestro, I feel like, you gonna make these ignorant as a Seahawks, if I'm a Seahawks, guy that makes decisions, you gonna make these kind of mistakes now? And we ain't even get you no money yet? Yeah, this is easy work. They made easy work of this guy, and he, I just wish he would have thought about this before he did it. I would love to say COVID and all that, but let's be clear. They don't care about COVID because football wouldn't be going on if they cared about COVID. And that's how I feel.
They being the players.
They being the players. They being the NFL. All of it. They don't really care, because if they did care, it wouldn't be none of this would be going on. He wouldn't be having to sneak a girl into a player's hotel room because he'd be at home. So look, I hate it had to be you, homie. Let this be a message to all the other rookies. You're not going to get away with it. If the team doesn't have a reason to hold on to you, they will cut you for these simple mistakes. And shout out to everybody who got stock in their team who could sneak women in regardless.
And here's another reason why homie messed up. this is 2020. There's no preseason games this season, which means all you're going to show these guys, these coaches and scouts, is what you show in practice. And in my opinion, I don't think what these guys show in practice is going to be enough for these guys to decide, okay, we're keeping this person, we're going to keep that guy, we got to cut you, sorry, you got to go. There's no preseason games. And this guy should have known that, man, I only got a limited amount of opportunity to show what I could do. I better not mess this thing up. I better just go ahead and follow the COVID-19 guidelines and make sure I'm straight. At least give me an opportunity to make the roster. But homie threw all that away. And all because of some snow bunny that's not even attractive according to you. Like, if it was a bad joint, if she was a bad white girl, then okay, but nah, homie.
Well, let me take a step back. I'll shoot him a little bit of bail. He may not have been. It might not have been a whole. He doing his rounds and he see the white girl and like, ooh, I got to have this white girl tonight. It might not have been that thing. It might have been them walking around doing their rounds and that white girl talking slick to him. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm about to motherfucking blow your motherfucking head off real quick. I'm about to blow your back out real quick. Because you're talking crazy and I'm in the quarantine. It's not like I'm out here getting a whole lot of sex anyway. So let me see if I can sneak you up through here. She's probably saying all that little, all that little nasty white girl shit what white girls be saying to people. And he was like, all right, yeah, I need to I need to go ahead and see what's happening because I need to get this off anyway. And she's sitting here talking shit. So I need to get my issue off. I'm thinking it's that. So let me shoot him. It's still stupid, but let me shoot him a little bit of bail. He might not have been out here looking for it, but it found him, and he wasn't strong enough to say, nah, shorty, I can't mess with you like that.
Oh man, I just had a flashback. You remember 40-Year-Old Virgin, the scene where Steve Carell's about to sleep with the white girl, the crazy white girl? Toward the end there, and she was in a bathtub, saying all types of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
That's what this just kind of reminds me of.
Yeah, but it's more. Yeah, but it's not. It didn't even get that crazy. It was more like the scene with that crazy white girl when he met her in the bookstore. And
in the bookstore,
it was more like that. Like, ooh, I just seen her, and you know what I'm saying, and the vibe was right. So when the vibe is right, it's like, damn, all right. And Slim probably ain't the cornerback. He probably ain't nothing but 20, 21 years old. 22 at best, and it's like, damn, all right, you throwing it. All right, I gotta pick that off.
Well, two things for homie. I hope number one, he gets smarter about these situations, and number two, I hope somebody picks the brother up, man.
Yeah.
I really
hope
do.
you get a second chance.
So Jerry Jones, and you kind of tagged me on a Facebook post over the week, and I had a chance to watch that press conference of Jerry Jones. Fam, what the hell is this dude talking about? This dude talking about grace.
What is
talking about grace?
About? Like, what are you talking about?
I'm like, what? Like, bruh, like if you want to straddle the fence, then okay, then just come out and say, hey, I understand what these players are fighting for. At the end of the day, I'm the owner here. We got rules here. We're gonna do this my way. Like, just like, come on, man. You throwing the whole grace word out here. Like,
Grace. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Everybody.
You know why Grace is that word is fucking me up in that video. It's fucking me up because grace to me, when a human says something like grace, I'm granting you grace. It's like, what kind of sick ass God complex does Jerry Jones have going on? What kind of sick ass I'm the master, I'm the owner of this team does he have going on? When I say owner, I don't mean owner like, he owns the team, but owner like,
right.
I own the pay.
The mentality.
Yeah, right. The mentality like, I run you niggas. this team that has a majority of black people on it. By the way, and specifically because we're talking about kneeling and the people, one side's perspective of kneeling and another guy's perspective on kneeling. Whoever, if it's whether white, black, or indifferent, or whether you against it or whether you for it. It's like, I'm going to grant you grace and allow you to do what you feel like you need to do because I understand, and I'm paraphrasing what he said, because I understand that, you have a perception of what this flag stance is. Like, nigga, it's not no fucking perception. We are very clear on what the flag stance is. And I hate that we got to keep talking about this. We've been talking about what kneeling is for fucking almost 5 years. It's like, bruh, like, why,
education
why
on
are
it.
we still here? Why do we still not understand what kneeling for the flag means? And for you to come off and say, all right, well, since y'all got this perception, I'll grant you the grace to allow you to represent yourself how you want to be represented. Or we'll find a way to come to a common ground to represent, so you can represent how you want to represent, and the people on the other side can be cool with it. Nigga, fuck you. And that's like, it's hard for me to understand. Well, it's not hard because I haven't been in a position where I'm making millions of dollars or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. But I find issue with these players, man. And I don't know what they're saying to him behind closed doors, but I really find issues with these players not saying nothing.
Well, remember, I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
Remember, Gerald McCoy, who injured himself and he's out for the season now.
Yeah, get well.
But about a few months ago, he went on First Take and called Jerry Jones out. Was like, yo, I wish our owner would come out and say something. This was when Stephen A. called out Jerry Jones and was like, yo, we looking for you to say something. We're not necessarily saying you need to be on this side or the other side. We just don't want you to be silent. We just want you to come out and address the public, because in the past, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to your team, the franchise, you in front of the cameras, in front of everybody, you ready to speak.
Yeah.
But when these issues about George Floyd and Black Lives Matter and the like come about, you just go off and, nobody can find you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And well, look, I tell you what, this is why he kept his ass silent. But I can't even say that because ain't nobody said, like, I don't know, and I pretend I don't watch a whole bunch of sport news nowadays, but this ain't making no headlines, man. Again. And I don't know what the trend is, why this is the trend, while, racism is not really making headlines, or foul shit that owners are doing that ain't really making headlines right now. But this has not been a big story over the week. I think I sent that to you last Wednesday, maybe right after we did our show. And this has not.
Yeah, I think some people in the media addressed it the day after, and then after that, it just kind of leveled off, man.
Did you get the sense of outrage when somebody talked about it?
I didn't get that people were outraged. Like, I'm hearing people talk about it the day after, and like, I guess it's more, okay, we know what the Cowboys are. We know that there's a gazillion Dallas Cowboy fans in this country, and the majority of those fans, and I don't mean to label anybody, but damn it, I'm going to do so. Probably a large portion of that fan base has either racist values or views, or, they, think differently from, what Black Lives Matter is all about.
You're right.
So Jerry understands that. Jerry knows that. And so while he's got these players that work for him, these black players that work for him, he's straddling this fence. He can't pick a side.
I'm gonna tell you, Trey. Somebody got to do something. Somebody got to do something. I'm talking about a player. I'm thinking a popular player on the Dallas team. Somebody got to do something else. Somebody got to step out of the side of this. Somebody got to do something.
Yeah,
somebody got to
and
kneel when
Gerald
Jerry Jones
McCoy,
said don't.
Gerald McCoy was the dude, and then he hurt himself.
Yeah, I feel like
You
I feel like somebody need to take some sort of a stand, and get that real conversation